Georgie and Mandy's first marriage upends a major sitcom trope for the better. Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Up. While Georgie and Mandy's first marriage might seem like a pretty conventional sitcom, young Sheldon's spin-off secretly upends a major sitcom trope that has lasted for decades. On the face of it, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage comes across as a comparatively traditional family sitcom. With a laugh track, a dysfunctional family, and a sweet but complicated couple at its core, the nostalgic sitcom follows the formula shared by many of the most popular sitcoms from the 1970s through until the 1990s and 2000s. However, as the Young Sheldon spin-off title implies, Georgie and Mandy first marriage has some tricks up its sleeve. For one thing, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is about a couple whose union is canonically doomed to fail. In The Big Bang Theory Season 11, Episode 23, The Sibling Realignment, Georgie's older self mentioned his ex-wife. Thus, even though young Sheldon's finale left the pair in a pretty happy, stable place, viewers already know that Georgie and Mandy's relationship doesn't ultimately withstand the test of time. There is another element of the show's setup that allows Georgie and Mandy's first marriage to quietly subvert the conventions of family sitcoms. Georgie and Mandy's age gap is one that viewers rarely see. Georgie and Mandy have a 12-year age gap in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, as Georgie is 18 while Mandy is 30. This is incredibly uncommon in sitcoms, although it is fairly common for male partners to be notably older than their on-screen wives in the genre. This element of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is set up in the events of Season 5, Episode 11, A Lock-In, A Weather Girl, and A Disgusting Habit. In that outing, Mandy and Georgie met while Georgie was working in Mima's laundromat. Desperate to impress, Georgie claimed to be 21 as the pair hit it off. In Season 5, Episode 17, A Solo Peanut, A Social Butterfly, and The Truth, Mandy revealed that she was pregnant. Georgie and Mandy struggled with the responsibilities of parenthood and spent some time romantically separated, although Georgie continually attempted to woo his older paramour. Eventually, impressed by his dedication, Mandy realized that she liked Georgie despite his age and immaturity. Although Georgie and Mandy's eventual breakup will eventually see the pair part ways, it didn't become an explicit issue in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage until Season 1, Episode 4, Todd's Mom. Here, Mandy and Georgie were unsettled by two new friendships. After she befriended her coworker, Beth, Mandy was horrified when Georgie began hanging out with her colleague's young son, Todd. Much to her chagrin, Georgie and Todd were closer in age than she and Georgie, so it was hard to disapprove of their budding friendship. However, it did inevitably make Mandy feel like a surrogate mother to her husband. What makes this dynamic interesting is the fact that, until now, many sitcom couples had similar age gaps that went largely unnoticed as the genders were reversed. Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil had an 11-year age gap in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There was an 8-year gap between married, with children's Ed O'Neill and Katie Sagal, a 5-year gap between Kevin James and Leah Remini in King of Queens, a 13-year gap between According to Jim's lead couple, and a 10-year gap between The Big Bang Theory's central couple. To be fair, the final example made this a little less noticeable in the series, with the canonical age gap between Leonard and Penny being shortened to only 5 years. Shows where the age gap was an established part of their dynamic, like Modern Family's Jay and Gloria, were notable for their sizable age gap. It is still surprising that there were some 25 years between the duo. In contrast, Georgie and Mandy's 12-year age gap isn't that big considering sitcom history. It is still big enough to make the spin-off notable, and Todd's Mom proved the show can garner laughs from this atypical setup. While there isn't much time for Missy's stories in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, the series does have time to humanize its two heroes and highlight the unique challenges they face by dating someone outside the age range. Mandy felt embarrassed by Georgie's juvenile traits, but was impressed by his maturity compared to his peers. Georgie felt frustrated by Mandy viewing him as a disobedient son rather than a romantic partner, but hanging around with his fellow teenagers led him to realize he preferred the company of his more mature wife. Despite their differences in both age and personality, Georgie and Mandy were quick to recognize that they needed each other and both benefited from their marriage. While this made Todd's mom heartwarming, it also inadvertently highlighted an unexpected issue with the show's depiction of a mixed-age relationship. Since viewers already know that Georgie and Mandy don't stay together for good, it is impossible to avoid wondering whether the couple's age gap will contribute to their canonically confined breakup. Currently, viewers have no way of knowing why the pair call it quits. It might be their differing personalities, it could be the pressures of sharing a home with Mandy's parents, or it might even be something to do with Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's Sheldon's replacement, Connor, who has mostly been a background figure in Season 1 so far. There simply isn't enough evidence to guess for certain yet. The fact that Georgie suffers panic attacks over his inability to provide for his family could be exacerbated by the age gap between himself and Mandy. However, it seems fair to assume that the age gap will most likely be a factor in their divorce. This means it may not be an ideal representation for mixed-age couples. The fact that Georgie suffers panic attacks over his inability to provide for his family could be exacerbated by the age gap between himself and Mandy, and the insecure father may feel like his wife needs a partner her own age instead of him. Similarly, young Sheldon's Mandy may feel guilty over the pressures that parenthood and marriage put on the teenage Georgie, which could end Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.